Welcome to the real room. Y'all, I promise every time we want to have like a serious conversation. Like these technical glitches. Girl, I'm sitting up here waiting for the countdown and I'm like, where's the music? Why I don't hear anything? I don't know what's going on with it. Pastor Platts, you should be finished pouring your cup and join us on the stage. Welcome to the real room. Thank you so much for tuning in, for joining us. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Kalanda.
Oh, my name is Stan. I'm gonna get this together one of these days, y'all. I don't like saying my name sometimes. That might be what it is.
Okay. And I am so excited about today's show. I don't really know. I'm gonna let you do the introductions, Stanley.
I don't know everybody on this show.
Okay, we'll start with people that you do know.
I'll do Tim because I don't really, that other.
Oh Lord.
She kind of. Now let me stop. Now, but seriously, these people are not strangers. These individuals, I would say, are not strangers to the real room. We have Miss Andrea Cricket Snell joining us. She is a fashion extraordinaire. Aren't you a life coach too? Don't you do coaching and all that too? She's a life coach. She's popular. Like she got like 10,000 people that follow her on Instagram and stuff like that. She's a social media influencer. Yeah, she does that. And then we have the black.
Did you say my friend was a model?
No.
She a model. Okay.
She a model.
Yes.
Okay, she's a model. Now, me and Andrea have. She's one of the ones that I have that Martin and Pam type relationship. Like we are mad cool, but we definitely gonna throw some shade at each other. So it's not personal. That's just how we get along. So it is. And we have Mr. Tim Allen, the black Tim Allen, joining us. He is another celebrity that we have now. He's too famous. Is it? I'm just surprised.
That's the best you got.
I got a lot going on.
No, but now you got a little brother on. I see y'all be professional and formal. That's the best you got, bro. You said my name first, and then we'll make up accolades after that.
Okay, fine.
No, run that.
Introduce yourself then. I'm not.
No. I'm the guest. No. You do it because you should have been prepared. I'm gonna do like Nicki Minaj did on Breakfast Club. You should have been prepared, Charlamagne. You asked me about this weeks ago. I so introduce myself. No sir. Come on, Stanley.
Bro, the Tim that we knew is not the Tim that we have on the show now.
This is not. You see that the other Tim, he was so humble and meek. They get on stage, they get on few stages and just tell you how to do your show. Right?
Humble is not introducing yourself. You let other people. You got come on now.
Well, let me finish my introduction. You need to let me finish.
I ain't like the energy. That was so monotone. It was.
See, I'm gonna have a double problem tonight. I already can feel it.
What are you eating?
See, look, he eating during my introduction. You see this?
It's just unprofessional.
It's 9 o'clock. You should have ate this already. Come on, Stanley. Come on, we got to be better than this.
Okay, fine. This is the real room. We ain't got to put on for these people. Fine, this is the real room.
But we are very fortunate to have with us tonight the Black Tim Allen, comedian extraordinaire. I've known Tim for a while, and I think we've always known Tim was funny. But it's nice that the world is recognizing that Tim is funny. And I don't even think like you're trying, Tim. I think you just like
Tim just funny.
I just be talking. People do laugh.
Tim has been like this.
Tim was part of our youth department at church, and so it was like Tim was just funny. And then like now he's a comedian on different stages. And this.
Let me just say, I was always goofy. Funny is a art. You still gotta be strategic with being funny. I was always silly, so I was forward when to cut it on, when to cut it off. How to use it. For Stanley is silly.
Yes.
Stanley's silly. He ain't funny.
Stanley, I know we're talking about sperm, but is you eating nuts?
There you go. Look at him. See, he knew what to do. Come on now.
What is you
Go ahead and
eating?
put pause in your name, Stanley. Go ahead and put Stanley Pause Platts.
Like, what's happening?
I didn't even notice that.
Started yet.
I don't remember you over here starting early. Ain't that something?
Okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody what the title is. I can't even get it together.
Look at chew it, brother. Go ahead, chew it. Finish it off. Hold it.
Oh, in there. Okay.
He don't even want to eat it now.
Go ahead and eat it, brother. This is your fault. This is 9 o'clock. You should have been 8. There you go. Look. There you go. 9 o'clock.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. What is that click?
That was you.
That's not me.
Man, this game is getting ridiculous. Let me tell you something.
I don't know what's going on tonight, y'all. We ain't been on the Real Room Live in so long. And this
Well, let me introduce the title so we can jump into it. But y'all, we acting like this because we haven't seen each other in a few.
Yeah, this is like a
Been a while.
So, Stanley and I, when we were thinking about the new season, we were thinking about we said we were going to name this series the Red Cup series. Like before, we talked about like what the pastor said, like the pastor series, and now this is the Red Cup series. And I know some of the saints probably not gonna like the Red Cups, but then I was like, but that's for the deep and wonderful people who like this is a part of our culture, but like other cultures don't really have a significance for the Red Cup anyway. So y'all don't lose your salvation over this. But it really is going to represent like the level of conversation that we're going to have with this series. And tonight's discussion is something I have been wanting to talk about for years, because when we were still all going to the same church, our pastor mentioned it one time that one of the young adults had a question, and this is our topic. They are in college. They're not trying to have children at the moment because they're in college, but they wanted to know if it was a sin to sell their eggs because they needed money for school. You know, you're a college student, like you hustling anyway. You know, most of us who've been in college, we know what it's like. You got all the jobs because you're trying to hustle, make some money. And specifically, I remember Bishop making a comment saying, like, these are the questions that these new next generation believers have, and we have to be able to answer their questions. And then I've been thinking about this. I'm not going to say what my response is, but like, if I was in college, like if I didn't have maybe the parents I didn't have, I probably would have been a surrogate. And I would. So
was a surrogate the one that carried the baby for somebody?
Yeah, they made 5 to 6 figures. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It's selling our sperm.
Only reason I know surrogate is what's the Morris Chestnut In the Bow? You ever seen that movie?
No.
So In the Bow is the crazy girl, Morris Chestnut and I want to say Regina Hall.
Yes.
Was a couple. And this crazy little girl was a surrogate, but she fell in love with Morris in the process. So it was like you're obsessed mixed with like, I don't want to say temptation because Morris wasn't really interested in the lady. But it was the fact that she just overstepped her boundaries, you know, with that. But yeah, I thought y'all would. So.
But people make 5 to 6 figures being a surrogate.
That much?
Yes, that's a lot of money being a surrogate.
So
what are you talking?
I mean, me personally, I mean, I feel like eggs is eggs. So is and we live in this day now where what's the thing now, women, is your body, is your choice. So I mean, who are we to say what a girl can do with her body? So if she do want to sell her eggs, I mean, I don't personally see anything wrong with it. And wouldn't that be some type of form of birth control too?
So yeah, I'm like, when you ask about selling sperm, and I start thinking about, okay, so if we take birth control, like, or a man gets a vasectomy, is that a sin?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I tried to get one. They wouldn't let me.
Boy,
oh my God.
They told me I had to have a baby first. Yeah.
You just disregard, Stanley. I guess I'm trying to
like
figure
something.
They did. They said if you have to have a child first before you can have a man can have a vasectomy.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, that's I guess that's the law. It's not right, but it's okay.
I'm sorry, I'm over here babysitting my dog. What was this about the vasectomy?
If you never had kids,
That's all he heard was
can't have a
vasectomy.
vasectomy. He has to have at least one child before he can have a vasectomy.
That's a law?
Yeah.
What about my body, my choice?
Thank you.
Why that? Because you don't want to have kids, right, Stanley?
Stanley don't need no kids.
You missed out on 6 figures because you had to have a baby first. Ain't that something?
Right.
That's something.
But a woman can sell her eggs and tie her tubes and all that with no problem. But a guy.
So there's no law for a woman to tie her tubes up with no.
I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like you have to have a child as well before you can get your tubes tied.
Do we feel like it? It's a law. That's too different.
I don't know about no law.
No, I don't know that. I don't know that it's a law when it comes to the vasectomy, but you usually have to get like consent also from your partner. Mm-hmm. Like a woman can't have her tubes tied unless her partner also consents to it.
Really?
Yeah.
I know a lot of women that did it and didn't tell their husbands.
Oh, that's a whole nother issue.
Well, there's that. What's the second part about the selling of the sperm and the eggs, though? Like, what's the actual sin?
If I sell my eggs and somebody gets pregnant, do I have all these children out there?
But you're helping somebody produce. So
do I have?
I mean, technically, you're not sleeping with them to produce.
You're not committing fornication or adultery. That's the act. So that's why I'm trying to figure out what's the actual sin.
I think the sin with men, people think because a man has to masturbate in order to produce sperm. Yeah, that's probably where the sin factor comes in there.
Okay, well, what about this, right? If we look biblically on the structure of the household, right? I'm just kind of throwing it out here. Catch me if you can, okay? If we're saying there's an order to building a family, right, and the intentions of a partnership, aren't you losing all of that intentionalness if you are just loosely having your seed out there accessible to whoever? Because the whole thing, let's say biblically, right? If we have a structure of how we're supposed to find a spouse, right, multiply, et cetera, et cetera. I think we're supposed to multiply with just one person. We ain't supposed to multiply with, in that fashion, right? So, I mean, isn't that breaking the code that he gave us?
I don't know, because if you're talking biblical, I mean, and I'm kind of with you with this. Catch me if you can. Maybe I'm reaching, but I mean, Mary didn't get impregnated by a man.
Oh, I like this.
So, I mean, my thought process is, to my knowledge, I don't know how this worked with God putting this seed, sperm, whatever he did into Mary, but does that mean that God sinned if we go in that route?
No, God don't sin. That was a miracle.
Exactly. So
a miracle.
You gotta do it like that. A miracle. But though, it's a story in the Bible. It's a story in the Bible about Tamar, and she was married to. This is who she's named after, though.
She in the Bible?
Yeah. Okay. You know that Tamar? Yeah, Tamar's in the Bible.
No, I know. I know. I don't read like you.
She was married.
Don't be reading.
I don't read like that. Okay, go ahead. She
was married to a dude, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the husband died.
Yes.
And then she tried to marry the brother, and then the brother died, right?
Trifling.
Which one pulled out? The brother or
the brother?
The brother pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
Because she had to have a baby to keep, the.
And God got mad because he dropped his seed on the concrete.
Yeah, yes. And God struck him dead.
See, I be reading, Andre. I be reading a little bit.
But see, that's the story they used to tell us growing up. Like that's why they say men shouldn't masturbate, because when you do that story they used to tell us.
That ain't got nothing to do with masturbation,
right?
But that's anyway, right.
So the brother pulled out. She didn't get pregnant, and then she ended up like somewhat manipulating her father-in-law, and manipulated him to sleep with her because he didn't know who she was until after the fact, and he got her pregnant. But God honored that. So it was kind of like, So it might not be that bad.
Who was the baby?
Because she had to have a baby to keep the inheritance in her family.
Right. Who was the baby? Who would the baby end up being? Was it like Jonah?
Who did the baby end up
No, I forgot the name of the baby, but the baby ended up being in the genealogy of Jesus.
Yeah. Even though so she was married to one son. He died. She tried to, get pregnant from her brother-in-law. He pulled out and he died. Yep. And so the father-in-law was the only one left. So she got pregnant from him and had a baby.
I got a question.
And she had twins too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, one name was
so
Perez.
One of the so I think Perez is in the lineage of Jesus.
Yeah, she had twins. But so would that be considered like a sperm donor or
no, because she slept with him, right? She actually slept with him.
But he didn't know that was her.
But she slept with him.
Yeah, they didn't use protection.
But she slept with him. Okay. There was penetration. You see what I'm saying? I get what y'all saying.
Yeah.
She slept with him. That's about now. We talking about freezing up. This is my question. This leads to my question. So I asked this for a while, and I'm scared to ask this.
Oh God.
Do you think that society now has outgrown? What's the right word I want to say? Has outgrown the box of scripture? Like certain stuff at this point, it because it wasn't accessible or a thing then. Does the scripture still apply to some of the challenges and things that we go through now? For example, the sperm donor thing. Like this wasn't a thing, freezing an egg and inserting it here to some person. So has society now just made up so many other issues now that we honestly have to just sit back and be like, the Bible really don't have an answer for this.
I don't know if society made up. I feel like society has definitely developed as far as like, science and stuff where there's eggs and all this stuff and fertility issues and people trying to figure out how to make these things work. I think I might say yes. Like everything isn't going to be written out word for word. Like selling your sperm, selling your eggs is a sin. It's not going to be written out. And I feel like that's why it's so important to have a relationship with Christ, because I don't have infertility issues. So I'm not going to God asking God, is selling my eggs a sin? But someone else who might be having fertility issues this might be a blessing to them. So this would be something that they would take to God in prayer. But I'm not the person, you know what I mean? So
like the resources available now is the beneficiary, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, the blessing is the technology, the accessibility of having that option.
That's true.
I mean, I think about, you don't laugh at this, but I think about even glasses, like that whole thing, right? The technology of able to get LASIK surgery if I wanted it. I always think about that. So it's like, is it for me not a question? Oh my God, this was man-made. God didn't orchestrate this. Should I not get it? Is it a sin to get LASIK surgery because I want to see better? Or should I go and outside with my cousins, have them spit in the dirt, put it in my face? You know what I'm saying?
And see if it takes.
Yeah, see God. Let me see God can do it. God can heal it. It's like, come on, man. If this technology, and I agree with you, we are all gifted with things and abilities, to further, I guess, our need for our culture. Their needs was what it was in their time. But yeah, so I guess to answer the question, but I don't see the sin in it outside of what causes masturbation. I don't think masturbation is a sin, but what leads you or what's required of the act, I think, is what the sin is. Like the lustful thoughts, things you have to tap into to get there. I feel like
I don't think it's no different than like somebody doing a heart transplant or a kidney transplant. I think like if that's the case, then we should say, well, you shouldn't give nobody a kidney, you shouldn't give nobody a heart, so I think it just boils down to that person's person. Now there are some religions, Christians, that don't believe in organ transplants and stuff like that. But but I think at the end of the day, it just depends on that person's walk and that person's conviction. If a woman is having some fertility issues and there's another woman that's willing to help her with that, I don't see the big problem with that.
Yeah.
It's not like she has to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like she has to do anything sexually to get those eggs. Like,
I'm
Not
not
like
like to sleep with my
Sarah.
husband.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sarah Abraham.
now, me personally, and I'm gonna go on the air and say this. I don't know why I'm just feeling this boldness coming.
Oh, Lord. We live, brother. We live. Hold on. Think about
But I think if you're trying to get a donor to fulfill a lifestyle that's alternative to what the scripture says, then in that case, I do believe it's wrong.
Wait,
So,
what you mean?
like if
I
two
see what you're
women
saying.
are trying to get a guy
Okay.
donor so they
Okay.
can have a baby, so they can raise the baby as two women, I feel like that's wrong. Same thing if it's two guys. If it's two guys and one of them is trying to get a woman pregnant so they can raise that child as two guys, I believe that's wrong. Especially if you're a Christian, I believe that's wrong.
So you're saying it's not necessarily the act of selling sperm or selling eggs, but like the intention behind it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more of an intention for me.
I like that. I like
So
that.
if somebody wanted to sell their sperm or their eggs just to make money,
I
like
don't
would
see
that be a
because
sin?
got people that sell their bone.
Right.
They do say he works miracles, signs, and wonders.
That's what he says.
So if the sign is 6 figures,
Really?
then the Lord got to be telling me something, because if you're paying 6 figures for this, come on now. I mean,
There's a movie, I can't think of what it's called, but
Do you tithe on that 6 figures? I'm sorry.
will he accept the 10%?
yeah, it's the increase. There's a movie like this, and the man had like over like 40 children because I think like in college I can't remember what the name of the movie is called, but that's like the consequence at the end is that when these children find out that, you aren't my biological parent through DNA, then they typically want to go and find out who their biological parent is.
But
and so you sold your,
But that's just like one half. You know what I'm saying?
But that's where you get like all of who you are is through your DNA. Like your eyes are the color they are because of DNA.
What if you have some characteristics that some health issues, like you want to figure out where these health issues are coming from?
Yeah,
that's true. Okay, that makes sense now. I can agree with that part.
But I like the conversation of the intentions. If your intentions is to do right, and like you said, because you're not able to, I can stand on that. I like that. But if you're abusing the resource for your own sinful gain or what have you to maintain this sinful lifestyle that the Bible does strictly speak against, then you just add layer on top of layer. So I like
because truth be told, like we got people that's naturally having babies just to have babies, like with no intentions of getting married.
Oh, I gotta chill.
Like for instance, like I remember it was a big situation about Keke Palmer when she announced that she was pregnant, and everybody was like, why are we celebrating another single Black woman getting pregnant, and being right at this moment being a single Black woman? Like, why we're not, that was the narrative now. So they were saying that nowadays, as far as with women, the conversation is just women are just having babies. Some of them feel like they're older, they want to get it before time runs out biologically. Like with guys, we can go until we die, but women, they have a certain time frame where they like to have a child. So that's the conversations now that they're saying, like, we're celebrating more single parenthood as far as women. So what y'all think about that?
Is that considered settling though on the women's behalf? I want them to answer that. Is that just at that point settling? If you're saying I'm 35, right? No relationship. And I guess a lot of the conversation comes from they want something. They, whether it's a pet, some people don't want a pet. And they purposely look for that child to be that something to keep them going and dismissing the relationship aspect. Do you think that's a factor that they look for?
I think that speaks to intent too. Like if you're having children because you need something, you're lacking something, that's a individual issue. We shouldn't have children to fill a void. Children should be an expression of our love for our spouse.
I like that.
Not because like I need somebody to I'm lonely. Like I need somebody or something
I
to
need
do.
a best friend or
Yeah.
someone
Go get a
that'll
dog.
unconditionally
Yeah.
love me. That's
Yeah.
not how children work.
I like that.
And I've had single women like who felt like they were past their, like time is winding down. I want to like they wanted to like basically go to a sperm bank, and I would tell them like, girl, I have a husband, and it's hard. Like I don't know anybody who would like intentionally choose to raise a child on their own. And if that's the case, like if you really want to, you feel like God has really called you to motherhood, but you haven't been able to have children yet because you're not married, you can always, I feel like, adopt. There are so many children in this, Stanley, yes.
What?
There's
Bro?
so many children in the
You
system.
on that job, bro?
Dude, do y'all know how much trauma that is?
But that's why it's ministry.
Yeah.
It ain't for everybody. I'll say that much.
No, it's not.
No. I ain't with that whole everybody should adopt a child. I ain't with that.
No.
But at least being open to it, bro. Like that's something that you should think about, though, bro.
I had a dream that I adopted a kid, but I don't think that's what that actually meant, though.
That ain't what you want. That ain't what you want. It might be your will, but it ain't what you want.
Dude, these kids today crazy.
But see, that's the thing. You thinking of you adopting somebody 13, traumatized, mother was on cocaine. You can get a sweet 3-year-old who just wore with, little Matilda.
I think they had something.
Matilda.
I think they had something in Florida the other day. I think it was in Florida where a newborn was dropped off at like one of those sites, like a fire station.
Mm-hmm.
So people are still like giving up.
Yeah.
I'd rather you do that than now. Me personally, I'd rather you do that than abort a baby.
You still eating nuts, huh?
I'd rather you put the baby up for adoption.
Interesting. Then you go cover your mouth like you don't see me. You still on screen, brother. You see your chin moving, brother. You still in the you get the
you Stanley.
Yeah, you in the vibrato mode, brother. You going in on them. And the thing you kept talking too, like you could just chew it. You was off screen. Like you had to chew it while you was explaining your answer. You could have just waited, brother. You had time to eat that. And then come back in. You just
we're not gonna do this.
Oh God.
Make your mouth dry. Need some water, brother. Go get some water. Get on camera. Get some water.
Go wash it
There you go. Wash it down, brother. I know it's dry.
Oh, they killing you, Stanley.
Yeah.
Not tonight.
Go ahead, brother. I'm gonna let you finish. I just wanted to help you out. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Nah, it's all right.
Good. Probably one of them. All right.
Don't worry, Real Room. I'll be back. Y'all know.
You the word was Matilda. You ain't sold it yet. I'm with my cash app. You need a Matilda.
I need to what?
Yeah, like Matilda is a good example of like a sweet little girl who needed to be adopted by a good.
You watch too much.
It was not crazy.
Wasn't that the one that used to move?
Matilda was not crazy.
Her eyes and all that. No.
Yeah, no, not with her. Yeah. She was sweet though. She didn't have the best parents.
Wasn't wrong with Matilda? What are you talking about?
She used to look at stuff and he used to move and turn on TV.
Like with the lizard went into the water.
Yeah, and all that.
Yeah. You just didn't know how to use her gift. That wasn't crazy. That's the problem. Y'all were gifted. Yeah, that's the problem. Because they call a lot of people crazy, but they was gifted.
We go.
Oh.
That's a word. She didn't know how to use her gift.
You know how to use a gift. You weren't mature yet. You were a child.
Oh, she got with the right family.
So you see, right?
Yeah.
See, what Joe call crazy is gifted. See, Stanley, you don't want to receive it. You missed out on your Matilda blessing. Hashtag that. I need my Matilda blessing. So this marketing. This how you get the shares. Hashtag Matilda blessing.
Matilda blessing.
I'm serious.
Stanley, they said in the comments that was Chucky who was moving stuff with his eye.
Right. That was Chucky. That ain't Matilda, brother.
Remember when she had the chocolate cake and she moved the cake across?
She didn't have chocolate cake. The big boy ate the cake and they forced it. That's peer pressure. That's two different. That's another episode.
It was
No. That was they forced that man because he stole the cake and they was like, "Oh, since you want to eat the cake, they eat it."
Yeah.
Then they forced that man to eat that cake and he could have had a heartburn right there in the school and wasn't a medical facility on staff. None of that. That should be. That need to be boycotted. But the message is Matilda was blessed because she walked in her gift. Oh, Shabada. And then what happened was the The teacher ended up adopting her. You the teacher, Stanley. You the teacher. There's a big-headed boy right now looking just like you, waiting for you to snatch him up and walk him and grow him in his gift. You are the sir. You got to receive this. You got a big-headed Matilda coming your way. You got to understand something.
Okay.
It's for you.
Keep it
No,
up.
I'm just saying it's for you. This ain't me. This is coming from up here.
That's all right.
Through me to you. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, but I ain't talking to you. Let me just say that. I'm talking to you.
Okay, this is my thing. Because I actually, believe it or not, actually had women ask me would I be interested in helping them have a child.
I don't believe it. Whatever.
Now that's a sin.
Okay. You're going a little too far.
I'm serious. No, I'm
They said
so women can walk up to you.
They said Stanley is a man of God. He's saved. I can see women, you know.
I'm serious. I've had
Did they want you to don or did they want you to do the act with them?
I don't know how God wanted to do that.
Now we're talking.
I don't know what the Lord wanted to do in that situation.
Did they want you to donate? Or did they want the act of it? Because
they wanted the donation.
Oh, that's a different thing.
Donations can come either way. Donations can come either way.
He don't know how God wants to do it.
All I'm gonna say is, seriously, I've had women ask me. They was like, "Listen, I don't want to be married right now. I have a career, but I do want to be a mother." And they asked me, "Would I be interested in doing that?"
No, okay, so knowing you're the man of God, why would they approach you like that if you weren't already?
They didn't. I guess they didn't know the status. Like as far as, I mean, I'm not like hiding my walk with the Lord, but I guess they just looked at the fact like, oh, he seems like a cool guy, this and that and the other. I don't know.
They must not know that other side.
Bible said, let your light so shine. They knew
my light shines, but I don't market that I'm a preacher or anything like that. I don't advertise that part of me. That's just me. But I mean, and then we was all working together at the time at the job. So yeah, she did. She was like,
they only know one side of you then.
No, they know I'm saved, but they just
don't know you deep and wonderful.
I'm not deep and wonderful.
Well, clearly he's not deep and wonderful if they ask him.
That's deep and wonderful. But seriously, she asked me, she was like, listen.
Also, it was just one, because you said women.
No, one was just one. Example.
Just lying. Just be lying.
I'm not like, trust me, I'm not.
Tim,
now you know I'm telling the truth. If I'm
Tim like he don't know.
Anyway.
Look at Tim.
Anyway, seriously, but one asked me that because she said that she was focused on her career. She didn't want to be married, but she didn't want to be a mother. Then I had another girl ask me that, and of course I told her no because her and her girlfriend was getting married and they wanted a baby. So I was like,
so
no.
Why you told the other person no? Because you made it specific that you told this woman no. You ain't saying that about the other woman.
He was thinking about it.
He was considering it.
If we gonna be honest, I thought about it. I really did think about it. For the first one, yeah. The second one, absolutely not.
Again,
I'm not
the first one,
a child and raise them in that type of environment. I'm not gonna do that. And then I got my rights.
Is donating to donate, or
that would have been, now the second scenario that would have been donating because they just wanted to get pregnant, and then I would have to sign off. You know, I can't have any relationship.
Right.
None of that. It just would have been them two and the baby. I'm just helping one of them reproduce.
I think we got to figure out why do we win, but not his way.
Ooh.
Like, why we even want it? You even want to I want what you created. I want what you are offering, but I don't want to do it that way that you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not gonna be as good as it's supposed to be. I don't think the Lord intended anybody to have children outside of, a marriage relationship, but because the world is like it is, we have children who are available for adoption. And so there is an opportunity for, to be a foster parent. But yeah, I think we have to I think it goes back to intent. Why do we desire things that the systems that God has created, but we don't want it his way?
Yeah.
Can I kind of chime in on that? That got me.
No, you can't.
I love that. Listen, I love mafia movies. All you like your drug trade movies, like Paid in Full, Scarface, that fast money stuff. And that's immediately what jumped in my mind, sis, when you said that, because it was like there's a system in place for you to live life more abundantly, right? If you play the system. Now the system isn't to our favor all the time, but you can come up with a blueprint if you stay patient, stay the course, and stay faithful. But why is it that we lean towards, the 80s, right? With the crack epidemic, the fast money, we gotta hustle, we gotta steal, we gotta do this and that. And then once we flip it and legalize it, oh, now all of a sudden we legit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, is God still blessing you with that? Because look how much dirty money you got to get to this status.
Mm-hmm.
So is God still honoring that success level? And I love what you just said there, because I think that will make people rethink and reprocess a lot of, what they go through with that, because it's like, okay, now at this point, am I really, again, back to attentions, are we really honoring God in this? Because when we go through this and we make that decision, is that end result, is that success level going to still be looked at in God's eyes as successful and with his blessing? Or did we just force that success?
But that would be like the whole Tamar situation, right? That's what she said.
But why did God honor that?
I don't know. That I've always had a question, because
I'm gonna have to go pull up my notes.
Because think about this. You was the woman that did that in the Bible, and God, because you had Sarah. Sarah was too old to have a baby because she didn't really believe it, so she told Abraham, "Well, go with my servant Hagar." And then Abraham ended up putting Hagar and the baby out the house because Sarah was like, "Oh, y'all gotta go," because at that time Isaac had already came. So there were instances where God did allow people to have babies with folk that they weren't necessarily with, and he honored that. But I guess he honored it because at the end of the day, it ended up being in the lineage of Jesus. So
yeah.
Okay, so back to, so relearn me on this.
Relearn you.
So let's just say the Sarah thing. Was the husband on board with what God told them to do?
Who? With who?
Let's just say Sarah.
Abraham, he didn't doubt God.
It was Sarah that did.
It was Sarah.
So
And
Sarah
then what made her do it?
She
What
said,
made her
I'm
get
too
pregnant?
old.
God
first,
First she
didn't believe because she was like, I'm too old. Abraham too old. So she was like, this must be how God want to do it. He must want my husband to sleep with Rahab. I mean, not Rahab. Hagar. And that must be how we're going to have a child. We're going to basically have a surrogate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they was obedient, but they was obedient to it. So that's not my point.
They tried to do it their way.
Okay. So that's not, okay. So my second one, then let me ask you this: the Tamar person, Tamar Braxton, right? So boom. All right.
We're not talking about Tamar Braxton, guys.
Tamar Braxton would have a baby, and then her husband died.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second person was the in-law, and he died,
and God struck, and God killed him for pulling out.
And so that's my point. Okay, boom.
That's not the reason why God killed him. It was some other things that he did.
But his last chance to prove if you stay in, I'm gonna save your life. And he said, no, I'm gonna still disobey you.
Maybe.
Listen, ain't no maybe. That's what okay, so boom. My point is,
go pull up the scripture.
My point is saying, okay, if someone decided to go the surrogate route, can God honor that because the partner in that season was not obedient? You see what I'm saying? If God gave you the vision and said, okay, I want you to have a child, the resources are there, etc., etc. If the partner that you with at that season is not obedient, and you have to at this point to fulfill the vision or fulfill what God told you to do, the assignment, can He bless it that way? Again, catch me if you can. I'm just throwing this out there. Yeah, the house is quiet.
At the end of the day, that's a personal relationship with God. That's a personal conviction. Because that's just me. Because I feel like I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go on a limb for saying this, but I think we in the Western hemisphere of the world, we try to make Christianity fit our culture. But if you go in the other cultures, they still marrying 2 and 3 women. You know what I'm saying? Having babies, and I mean, and that's just the cult. I think it's a cultural preference situation. So at the end of the day, I really believe that it's just pretty much up to your relationship with God. Now, am I saying go out there and just have a bunch of babies like Nick Cannon doing? Because that's why Nick Cannon doing it. Because he's going
his interpretation of
his interpretation, and he said,
"So what? To be fruitful and multiply?"
Right. Because he was like, in other cultures, we only like what he's doing. That's perfectly natural in Africa and all over there. Like that's perfectly natural. It's just weird to us because we're on this side. And biblically, there were a lot of times where men, matter of fact, you had, what's the man that married the 2 sisters? One was ugly. Jacob. Was that Jacob?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
One was ugly. He really
Rachel.
wanted Rachel. He wanted the beautiful one, but he got tricked and ended up marrying the ugly one. And the beautiful one couldn't have kids, but the ugly one could. But she kept having babies to try to please him.
Now, Sunday school question. Sunday school question. Why you eating that? I'm you time to.
Y'all not gonna keep bothering me about my.
No, I'm gonna
Stop eating them.
No, let me put this.
That's why you popped in real fast.
Right.
I want to stop you like you said.
I mean, sugar is low right now.
I'm helping you.
You got nothing else.
This is
what?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's gonna help you out.
I'll just
my question is,
how about that?
Come on, brother. I'm trying to help you out. Keep tuning. Anyway, my question is in that story there, and it's a Sunday school question. I'm a young baby. Is that Old or New Testament? Because if there is the whole new law thing, wasn't there a shift in how society was structured and, you know, assigned as far as monogamy at this point? You know, the testaments of all that. Isn't there a shift at some point in Scripture?
There is a shift, but there are a lot of people that still feel like because of that's how it was prior to, they still live by that. You got Hebrew Israelites; they still believe in multiple marriages. They have one guy will live in a house with 5 different women and have babies from each woman, as long as they're all in the same house.
Right.
They practice that to this very day. And legally, you can only be married to one person at a time. I think in Utah you can be married to 2 women at the same time, but in the United States you can only be married legally to one person.
But according to God's standard, He gave Eve to Adam. There was one woman He gave, and for them to basically, they were the first family. That was His standard. Now, just because He allowed David and Solomon and all these other people had several wives, it speaks more to their lust and their lack of self-control. Now, just because He allowed it does not mean that this was the standard that He wanted. And we can see they had baby mama drama. So clearly this is not the standard. But the Lord didn't allow that to discount how He used them or what He allowed them to do. But that's not the standard. Those people will still be responsible for fornication, adultery, even if you consider yourself to be married to these people, but it's not according to the biblical standard. Because
in reality, you can't, as a man, you can't serve multiple women like that at the same time. That's too much.
Try as a woman, you can't.
And y'all ain't finna share y'all husbands.
Sure ain't. No.
And
I'm not gonna have multiple ones because Marcus Douglas is enough, baby.
Right.
All right.
You're not gonna talk about my dog.
Hey, I'm a brother that way,
It's enough. But that's how you know it's more of like a sexual immorality thing. Because logically, there's no way you can give yourself to multiple people and everybody feels satisfied and everybody's needs are met, everybody's desires are met. It's impossible. So it's sex.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, when it comes to, like I said, if you're willing to donate your eggs to help a woman produce, me personally, I look at it on a medical side. If it's going to help benefit a life or something, I don't see nothing. Like I said, I don't see it being no different than a kidney transplant. Now guys, as far as being sperm donors, I mean, you got guys being sperm donors all day without going to the clinic. So that's real. So
I think just whatever you want to do. Like even this needs to be something that you submit before the Lord.
You need to have something.
Just like if you donate a kidney, you need to go and talk to the Lord about it because He may not want you to donate your kidney or even blood. You know, like all of this stuff we need to. Lord, is this something that you want me to do?
Yeah.
Because you don't want donating your kidney be the last time.
And,
trying to help somebody.
And you do need to be, and it's more than just, and I like how y'all talked about like knowing family health history and stuff like that. You do want to be aware of things like that, you know, that run in your family, because you don't want to have something one day and be like, where this came from. So you do want to be aware of that. Also, you do want to be aware if the person that you are participating with, if they are disease free. So
right.
I can't tell y'all this testimony. That's too real, but we'll keep it moving.
No, anyway. 48 minutes in. You can do it. We've been here long enough. You gonna bring it up? Go ahead and bring it up.
I don't feel like church people like, oh my God.
We ain't here for church people. You said this. You called me. Y'all said this is the Red Cup series.
Okay, we.
I didn't say it was the Sanctified series.
Y'all don't y'all bother Stanley. Message me.
Boost me up.
No,
don't message. Y'all don't message Stanley. Message me.
I'm gonna say right. This past weekend, was it Friday? Friday, I went and got tested. You know, just to get tested for HIV, STDs. Now let me put it out here, y'all. I ain't out here living ratchet like Andrea is. I'm actually trying my best.
Don't throw
First of all, Andrea is married.
Okay. Now let me stop. No, y'all. Andrea is not out here living ratchet.
And her husband probably watching.
I'm living ratchet with my husband.
But you just never know. Like we all grown. You just never. And I was sitting in the lobby, and I was just so shocked that like the women that was walking out, I was like, dang, there's some bad females walking in here. And one girl went in the back, and I just heard her crying. And I was like,
oh God.
So I already knew what that meant, and I'm sitting there like, Father God, Jesus, please, Lord, don't let me, you know, find this infirmity in the name of Jesus. You gonna loose my Jesus. I send you back to the pits of it. I mean, I was in there doing warfare in the darn HIV clinic. And some people be like, you ain't got no business in there. But what I'm saying all that to say this, you don't know who you laying up with. You don't know, it's a lot of stuff out, especially like if you're trying to get people to donate sperm and eggs and stuff like that. It's a lot of stuff out there. So, and I know a lot of Christians don't like to talk about it. I know people gonna probably inbox me like, you ain't no business getting tested anyway. First of all, you need to get tested. But I'm gonna just say that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that you just got to be mindful of all of this stuff that plays a part when you're talking about reproduction, because that it's stuff out there, y'all, and you just got to use wisdom in that area.
But first, I think if anybody try to contact you, it's ignorant to think that like sexually transmitted diseases, some of them are only transmitted through sex. Mm-hmm. They can be transmitted other ways.
That's ignorant.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
That's ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, saints don't like to read and research because
saints don't admit sex. Sex is sex. It can be oral sex,
And then they'll sit up there and say they ain't doing that, but they're doing oral sex. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Hey, I'm holy, but you doing oral sex.
You doing oral sex right now, Stanley, because you killing your dad.
Because he ain't stopped eating them nuts. I mean, just put them all up in his mouth. Okay. We see
God. Now I told y'all why.
That's why you went and got tested.
Eating it. It's just like you eating it and talking. I can't take both. You eat it.
I told y'all, but
he do this often.
That's okay.
This is a regular routine for him.
You know they good to pick on people that have.
You know how the pastors do. Oh, I'm fasting. No, this ain't the time. No.
Y'all gonna have my
fasting is secret. You fasting secret, but we got to see it.
I'm gonna get y'all for this.
I ain't got to fast the secret.
Y'all gonna have my mama calling me.
Right.
Sorry, Ma. Pastor,
it's the Red Cup show.
It's the Red Cup.
Pastor,
but I'm saying though, like seriously, like, and that I'm saying, like when I got tested out, and even for me it was nervous because you just never know. But what I'm saying is like, y'all just be careful out there, because I noticed like now it's just a trend. People are just having babies just for the fun of it. Mm-hmm. Like I saw a quote on Facebook. They was like, "Babies are the new pocketbooks." I know girls that's just having. I knew a group of girls. I'm not gonna say their names because Kalanda know them too. But it's like all of them got pregnant. They're young. Oh. All of them got pregnant at like back to back. I guess since one got pregnant, the other got pregnant, and it's like a trend And you would think like their parents would be like,
They
no,
do like pregnancy packs.
but they encourage it. And then, you know, today's grandparents, people are asking more about when are you giving me grandkids versus when you get married. So
yeah.
So it's
My
pressure.
dad was telling me that the other day that people would ask him like about my children, and then they'll ask about my sister, and they'll say, like I don't know, maybe they'll say how many children does she have, and then my dad will say she's not married. And they can't believe that she doesn't have any children. And he's like, well, she's not married. Like she shouldn't have any kids.
Right.
But you're right. It's amazing. It's some God-loving, church-going adults who pressuring their single children to make them grandparents.
Yeah,
they're tired of waiting on their child waiting to be in the marriage.
Why do you need grandkids?
Because they need something to do. They retired and bored. And
well, you better go buy a fish or something,
right.
Like because you're not
going to have our own person.
Now, see, my parents ain't pressuring me because I already know my parents ain't babysitting no kids. They not, because they don't even get my nephew like that. They go too much. So
they had you, so they don't want no grandkids.
I'm the best thing that ever happened.
Another Stanley in this world.
Right. Another Stanley child.
Well, come on, let me ask you this. I just got married last June.
Who's putting something in the microwave?
Stanley.
That ain't me.
No, that's my wife. She put
She don't know we like.
I can hear that. Y'all are good.
Right. Talk about being professional, huh?
No, you far from professional. Well, you got in
the real room.
Anyway, let me ask you that: when you and Marcus first got married, was that heat on y'all to
have kids?
Like first quarter?
Because I was one of them.
Man, listen, that's just beyond me. I'm thinking it's levels to stuff, right? And when we got married last year, I'm like, okay, boom, let's get a bigger space. As a man, I'm like, let's get a bigger space. We've been here, we've grown, with each other. Now at this point, just get a bigger space so we can actually accommodate the new seasons. And man, this like these family members, they don't care. Like they ready. Like my mama. I mean, I gotta finally put this on stage, but we had a brunch with my parents. They came in town, and my mom like leaving. She was like, "All right, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing. Do y'all thing."
Mom, we having fun practicing as long as we can.
Yeah, hey, I told us about we practicing. We good.
Don't do it until y'all are ready. Like you'll be like me and Andrea with 2 kids at the house trying to figure out how to make with this full-time job and these children trying to make our purpose work at the same time. Like
right. I'm gonna tell y'all like my former pastor, Bishop C.D. Kinsey, said this years ago when I was a little kid. He said, babies make you poor. So do not have kids until you can afford. Seriously, I was like in the 5th grade. I never forget that. He was like, "Babies make you poor." He said, "Do not have kids until you're able to afford them." And I've always kept it in the back of my mind. Like everybody, like today, everybody got mad because Shamar Moore 52 and he's having his first child at 52.
What's wrong with that?
He can afford it now.
Right.
P. Diddy just had a baby at 53.
And he's slowing down on his
P. Diddy. We're not finna put P. Diddy up in there.
But he
none of that needs to more.
P. Diddy just had another baby at 43. And he's too old to be having kids.
P. Diddy only P. Diddy older than that.
No, he's 53. Him and my mom the same age.
Oh, I thought you said 43.
My mom age. No, 53. He's 53.
He's not in this category.
Rich people have their kids later in life. I noticed that. A lot of rich people wait till they like.
They start slowing down their career.
Age ain't nothing but a number. Shout out to Aaliyah.
Yeah. Shout out to Aaliyah. That's what she said.
Oh, that's not the one. See, you can tell the different generations because that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking Pretty Ricky.
I was thinking Aaliyah.
I was thinking Pretty Ricky too.
What song?
But that might be the gender.
You
don't know.
But
you gotta give me something else. What was that? That wasn't.
That's how the song is.
No, I don't believe it. Sing it again one more time.
You say that's how the song goes.
Girl, you're my my age, but age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know that. See, never mind. See, let me say, I'm in the real room. Forget it. See, I was on Pretty Ricky when they was saying about stuff we didn't know about.
Right.
No,
That's what I was on.
That y'all didn't know about.
Yeah, we was in college.
Yeah,
we
that
knew
was
about
nice.
it.
You in college?
I was in high school.
Don't do that.
Y'all
Don't do
Tim was
that.
younger.
This is wrong crowd.
Hold
This is wrong crowd.
on. College.
Let me do that.
Don't tell
Tim
me when it
young,
came out.
but Tim playlist looks just like ours.
Cause he gonna call out Aaliyah. That's older than us.
That's
what I'm trying to say. You was in college with Pretty Ricky? Pretty Ricky for me was like some of 06.
Oh yeah, that's when we went to college.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all.
That was my second year, I think.
We was in 5th grade talking about grind on me. Grind on
Fifth grade.
Wait, what we was talking about? Wait, what we was talking about, boy? Listen, your body, my body. Listen, we was just weird. We was weird, but there was a shift though. There was a shift though. Sex was it was presented differently in my era, probably than what y'all grew up.
Yes,
it was
our age was
different.
Sex was accessible.
I think but I feel like in the youth ministry we talked about it a little bit more when we grew up. Saying it was just like abstinence, don't do it. Well, for the women, it was just don't do it. Then when Tim and them came up, we started talking about it because we knew.
That's because we were like youth leaders around that time when Tim came up.
No, y'all can't tell me about abstinence, and there's a 15-year-old right beside me 5 months in.
We used to talk about it all the time in Sunday school.
I'm just saying the church had to change the conversation because how you gonna tell me about abstinence and then 3 of them in here pregnant, and we know who they slept with.
That is true. But see, when I remember was be abstinent and stuff like that. I remember one lady told her, she said, if you really got a problem, just get you some scriptures and pin them on your underwear.
Corny. Boo.
Right?
You really can't say that. Like, get you put the word on your underwear if it's that serious.
That's so lame, bro.
That's what that lady told us. And some people actually
think. So lame. She probably had no kids. Who told you that?
I was gonna say.
Told you. Come on, bro.
Because she had them on. Because she had them pinned on underwear.
It's always the ones with no kids. Well, ain't that something?
That's so corny, bro. What? Come on, dog. Like, how much are we reaching to tell the saints, the new saints of that, talking about pin the scripture to your underwear?
Man, I heard when I was like, when we moved to when we switched churches, I was 17 and so it was a little like it was more like different. Like it was more like they encouraged dating and stuff like that. Versus growing up, in a more traditional church, it was like your focus need to be on God. You don't need to be focused on having no girlfriend or boyfriend. But see what that did was for some people that created a whole nother problem. So I think the church needs to be more open about this stuff. I remember I put this post up like a year or two ago. And I was like, what's the conversation church need to have? Everybody in the comments was like sex. And in my mind, I'm like, y'all still ain't talking about sex? Here we are in the 2020s now. Y'all still scared to talk about sex?
Well, I think here's the problem. If I could speak for being the youngest on the panel. Here's the problem.
Shade.
Come on now. Y'all already told me Pretty Ricky was y'all first go-to reference. I done in the lead. Y'all supposed to jump on the lead. That's the Pretty Ricky 06? That was just 06. I was in college. Okay, I'll leave it. Anyway, so this is what I'm trying to tell y'all as a new school. I guess I'm a millennial. I was 95. Is that millennial?
You're a millennial. You're on the end part.
We're millennials.
You're one of us.
We're millennials too.
Okay, cool. They try jamming that Z stuff. I ain't with no Z stuff. I hate shit. So anyway, my thing is this. I gravitated more towards the response of my elders when they said, I've been there, done that. When we get outside the realm of, I never did this, I don't know where y'all get this from, boom, 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 boom. You can't grow up under the notion of there's nothing new under the sun, but then your spiritual leaders, parents, or whoever is now telling me, oh, I don't know where y'all got this from. It's something I never seen. Da, 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 da. If it's the same demon, it's the same demon. It's presented a certain way. But I feel like the days of old aren't honest enough to tell us that, yo, I've been through this. This was my version. And I could, as a young dude, I could respect you more to tell me, okay, boom, this was the way I was presented it, and I dealt with it this way. I'll be more inclined to listen to you, and as a spiritual approach, you know, fight those circumstances. But if you gonna act like you ever been there, no,
I've been there. Remember that term? I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. Yeah, I had a Sunday school teacher. That was her go-to line. She said, but you can look at her and be like, you ain't been there.
I look at her.
You trying to sell it. You trying to sell your testimony. Nah, you cap. I've been there. You talking about iPods. You been there. No, you ain't been there. You ain't stream a song a day in your life. You ain't been there. This music listen to it. You download it. And this nigga spirit. I've been there. No, that ain't the same.
Like I say, I just think we just need to be more open about it. Like, sex is a great thing. You know, for some people, being parents and being mothers and fathers is a goal, you know, and stuff like that. But I think we as the church, we just need to be a little bit more honest about this stuff. Like, yeah, having babies are cute, but ain't nobody talking about if you ain't married, then you got to deal with child support and custody issues and
co-parenting,
co-parent, like all that plays. Yeah, it's cute on Facebook. You're gonna get 1,000 likes when you had a baby, but behind the scenes, you know,
ain't nobody gonna come babysit.
Yeah, because I'm not babysitting.
Or when they start talking, are you still getting like your mind around what their learning needs are? Like things may shift there. Like now you see that they need extra help in this area. They cute, they dress up and stuff, and then they start talking, and you're like, oh, my baby need a little help with their speech, or like, oh, my baby a little behind in his classes. Now it's cute until they get to a certain point, and then they have all these needs. Then that's where.
Can I say this too? Like, you remember that episode on? I know he's not relevant. I don't care. He's an example. The Cosby Show, when Theo wanted to go somewhere, something like that, and they had like the whole financial.
When they cleaned his room out and all that.
It was something like that, and he was like, oh, you want to do this? Okay, another $100. Okay, now it's $20.
Oh yeah.
That's the first episode, yeah.
So I feel like that should be the blueprint of this conversation when it comes to children, pregnancy, sex. Because let me tell you something. That little gonorrhea stuff they were showing me ain't scared me.
You probably got it.
All them bumpy stuff they were showing me. Talking about 1 out of 10 people. I ain't one of them. I ain't in an army. Let me tell you something. What scared me was when I got nervous was when you talking about how much a daycare bill is per week.
And I know I only make this amount of money.
And the daycare, what?
Daycare, 400.
You need to talk more about that. Hit me in my pocket. Because all that other stuff, all that little, it might happen. Hey, come on now, let's be real. And then one of us understand little bumpy stuff. So at the end of the day, I feel like the conversation should lead more on, okay, you can do this. Here's the real consequences.
Yeah.
Here's real consequences, because a lot of people aren't privileged to having parents young enough to help assist watching them. A lot of us aren't, privileged to being in the same city, especially, just say you out of town, you state to state, whatever. But we don't have that privilege. So now you got to talk about, okay, daycare fees, diapers. I mean, even now your baby gets sick. I think they said a shortage on the medicine stuff now for these children. So like you got to formula, all that. You got to keep account of that. And that's where, even with me and my wife, I'm with y'all. It's the real room. But that's the hesitation that I have now, because it's like, are we ready for this world to provide and be able to provide, for this child? I'm cool with having one. There's no question. But at the end of the day, when I look at my pockets, I'm like, I just got this promotion. So I'm like, I'm trying to enjoy it for a minute. Can we travel a little bit? Can we do something extra money? Can we do something?
I don't know that you'll ever feel ready, because it's kind of like marriage. Like you had peace about marrying your wife, but you really didn't know what marriage was about till you got married. And you're like, Oh, okay. This is what this is about. It's the same thing with parenting. Like you'll have peace about like, okay, this is the time for us to start our family. But you really don't know what parenting is going to require until they get here.
Yes,
And then
you
like, so
you
don't
gotta
rely on the feeling. You just need God's peace that this is the right timing to start.
Yeah.
And then the rest of this is his business. He have to figure out the formula. He gonna have to figure out the daycare bill because you said this is when we supposed to be having our babies. So
Ooh, that daycare bill, Lord, jeez.
And that's the benefit of being a guy. We can have a baby whenever we feel like it.
oh, I don't like that.
But it's the truth.
What?
We can. Dude, we can have babies until we check out.
Brother, you don't speak for me, brother. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, y'all married. I forgot. I'm the only one single on the show.
Well, you will be eating nuts talking about baby when you want to. Nah, you ain't an advocate. Let me tell you something right now. You ain't an advocate for the people. You don't speak for the majority. The majority in the real room is brother. We
That would be bothering me about that.
You the one gonna make 6 figures next year. You finna capitalize on this donating, ain't you?
Oh, let me tell y'all what we talking about next week. I'm so excited y'all were able to join us. We going over.
Am I on next week? I ain't talking about my contract. Let me I'll call you later.
Contract.
Let me call you later about my contract. Y'all ain't been finesse me show to show talking about, okay, come on, boy. Hold on, wait a minute.
You trying to save up for daycare bills.
Right. Hold on, my time is money. So next week is what? My contract is next week.
Okay, so not next week, but we do it every other week.
See how they do it? See how they do it? They put it we go.
We can't do it every week no more. We got
I'm listening.
So the 23rd, where the topic is going to be, does praying for others violate their free will? So I got this because there was a woman on social media who says, if I have decided that I do not want to accept Christ's salvation, but then you tell me that you're going to pray for me anyway, will Jesus violate my decision to not accept his salvation just to answer your prayer? So that's what we're going to talk about.
That's a good one. I already know the answer to that, but that's a
good
one. That's a good one. I like it.
Again, I'm Sunday school. You got to put that in the
Look, lesson name.
Right.
Memory verse.
Your prayer violate Jesus' what?
Does me praying for you violate your free will?
If you don't want to accept,
or whatever, whatever it is.
Christ, yeah.
But did you ask me to pray for you?
So you only pray for people if they ask for prayer?
No, how I thought about it was like when people post something, they like,
no, don't talk about it now.
No, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it next show.
Oh, all right. Put in my contract. But all right.
That's between you and Stanley.
My people.
That's
my people call your people, but my team will call your team. But yeah,
we'll do.
But why?
I'll see if see if my team and my schedule aligns with this.
Wait,
but while you all are here, I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell our audience about your platforms. I don't know, Tim, if you're performing somewhere soon, but I know, Andrea, you have an offer to work with your clients.
Ooh, she just put me out there.
I see you. I see you in your stories the other day.
Clients.
Just, sheesh.
It was in the stories the other day.
It was. I'm gonna let Tim go first though. Go ahead.
That's fine. I ain't gonna talk long. So okay, so listen. Yes, I do hosting as well as stand-up comedy. And I'm an actor as well. On stage plays and film.
Academy Award winning actor.
Okay.
Soon to be.
No, bro, you just
skipped. If anybody wants to follow me on social media, it is the Black Tim Allen. The Black Tim Allen on Instagram. Tim J Allen on Facebook. But yeah, I have a lot of things coming up. I do stand-up comedy. I have a show actually Thursday. If anybody's listening in the Orlando area, I will be hosting at the Orlando Improv for the Orlando legend, the Rod Z, comedian Rod Z. So I'll be out there this Thursday night. And like I said, just check my schedule, man. As a comedian, we're so sporadic. You never know when our book has come up. I'm not that famous yet. I got my year planned out.
Man, you viral, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all this little secret.
I'm working on something. We got some stuff coming, social media wise. Getting my team together. I'm just blessed to be in the space that I'm in. To really just focus back on creativity. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited, Stanley.
But do y'all remember when Afion Crawford had the show here at the Comedy Zone and he crashed his show? If you look in the camera, Tim was on the side.
Oh my God! I hosted that show. Yes,
Tim was what?
He was on the stage, like he was one of the performers that night.
I hosted. Yeah.
So my dog don't do this little
right.
We went viral. Yeah. I was able to come back home with Afion.
Yeah.
And we went viral that night. The Karen crashed the stage. You can see me in the corner.
So you hosted that show.
I hosted it. Yeah, I was hosting the tour. I joined the tour. I did his Orlando spot. And I did his Jacksonville spot. And
a real Karen crash the stage.
A real Karen.
7:30 show. Like this wasn't the night you would think. You would think the later show would do it, but this was 7:30. I was like, this is the first show.
Yeah, well, she had to go home on time. She got to go to bed.
It must have been. It was Friday. It was a Friday night. And I was like, this is the first. Usually in the comedy club, first show go easy. It ain't no. You get the drunk crowd. Second show. Yeah. So the fact that she did it was crazy. My parents were there, so you got to understand.
Yeah, that was.
So my parents was there on top of that, and but man, it was insane because it just helped the weekend on a business level. We sold out the Saturday shows and the Sunday show due to that. So it was cool.
God using her as a blessing.
Listen, see, there we go. What's your intention? We could have backed, but we used it to market. Yeah, we used it to market. So anyway, anything hosted wise, I mean.
And y'all be on the lookout, man. Tim working on something in the summer. So I'm gonna just put a look. He don't know it yet.
I was gonna say, contact his people because he don't know. Yeah, put it in a contract.
All I'm gonna say is, if you like to collect vinyl records.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
You'll be hearing from me and Tim.
Yeah. My team already signed up on this. Yes. Yeah. I'm with you.
Call your people, Tim.
Yeah, we already called. Got you.
Yeah, we already on.
Bless the Lord.
Here we go.
I need to have a show now so I can have Tim come do comedy.
Mm-hmm. We need to have another Real Room live.
It's in the works.
Like an in person.
Yeah.
Because you ruined our show last time.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Andrea messed it up.
Again, my team will call y'all team.
Andrea was the main one, like putting something together at the show last time.
Don't do that. She really was. There was a lot going on at the last show behind the scenes. So, but it was a good show though. We'll do it again since COVID has somewhat lifted.
I get
okay, y'all. All right, Andrea, you go. It's your turn.
So first, foremost, thank y'all so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I enjoy every single time that y'all Kalanda invites me. We won't talk about Stanley with your nuts in your mouth the whole time.
Oh my God.
But swallow. Go. You got it? Don't let it spill.
Oh my!
I'm sure you're expert at that, Andrea. Go ahead. See, y'all, man. I told y'all this is what we deal with.
Why does man can't on the show with these?
This is what we deal with, guys.
Man can't on the show.
I'm sorry, y'all.
It's the real room. It's the real room. That's what we do.
I'm sorry. But I am a wardrobe stylist. I am a model. Really, Stanley, just log on. Because okay, you don't even have to introduce yourself because you have nothing to offer.
Well, all right. Hey, listen. I ain't signed up for this. I signed up for the real room, y'all.
Y'all said it was the Red Cup series.
Y'all acting like it's something in y'all cups.
Ain't nothing in there but some alcohol. And Stanley had some. He had to pair it well with them nuts, child.
So,
Go ahead, Andrea. Let's talk about your little organization and
Oh,
stuff.
not little.
ooh, that's childish.
Nothing's bigger than God, Andrea. Nothing's
Oh, nah, don't put my God in that. Don't put my God in that.
Right. Take him out of
You
that.
yourself, don't put my God.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to-
Lord. So Stanley, whenever you're ready to have children, to get married, go ahead and come on over for a stylist check, because we got to get this whole like, nah, that's all you wearing, and you ain't got a cap on today. Look at you. You looking at my stuff, ain't you?
Stanley, your t-shirt say he.
No, I really don't follow you. I don't think I follow you, Andrea.
That's a lie, because I had looked today and you did, but okay.
No, I didn't. You the one sent me a request on Instagram.
Because it said follow back.
Oh,
You had to follow first for me to follow back. But
Let
that's
me
okay.
unfollow-
You've been
let me
looking.
unfollow
It's
so I can say
okay.
you follow
You've
me.
been looking though. I
No, I'm gonna be
appreciate
fair.
you. The negativity, it helps with the algorithm. I appreciate
You
it.
I'm finna unfollow you and then
You know much.
Now you're gonna unfollow.
I'm gonna unfollow you so then you could just follow me.
But we're gonna set up Stanley a wardrobe session.
I don't need a wardrobe session.
Oh yes, you do.
I can put on when I want to.
You okay.
Check my record.
But look at your t-shirt and say that one more time.
All it says, no, I'm good. I got this from
Again, you need to
I got this from
water.
5 and below.
5 and okay.
I got some good t-shirts from 5 and below. Y'all right here playing.
Say that statement one more time and then follow it by you don't need a stylist. And then say
I don't need
right.
I got it from 5 and below.
Right. I got it from 5 and below, but I don't need no stylist.
I don't need no stylist.
You 38 with a shirt that says
no,
I'm good, right?
If people can buy stuff off Shein and what's the other website?
You got a Twitter hat. You got a Twitter slang.
Wear that. So I'm just saying.
Stanley,
Go ahead, Andrea. I didn't get to your commercial. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm good. You too old to be saying nah, I'm good.
I like my shirt. Y'all are gonna
you say no, thank you.
Oh my god! Then they actually take your license. They may actually take your license for this, Stanley.
Stanley, you just trying to say check, please.
It's okay. We're gonna get him together.
He's over here cracking. Please cut this man off so we get out the air. This ain't gonna end well. I already got a feeling.
Stanley, I'm gonna call you after this. I'm gonna send you a shirt tomorrow that say debit or credit.
I like my shirt. Y'all gonna talk about my shirt. This is my shirt.
But this is why you need me, Stanley. But you do.
Stanley, you too grown.
I like my shirt.
You too grown. You right.
Okay, I'll see what you can do. I hit you up and see what you can do.
Okay, good.
See what you can do, brother. You can do way better than what you got going on.
I'm gonna say this. I got a photo shoot next week. No,
yes, Stanley.
Not with this shirt on. I hope not.
I was gonna actually wear this one.
You better not put nothing on no photography.
What type of photo shoot is this, Stanley?
No, I'm good.
Professional photos and stuff.
No, you're not finna wear that to no professional.
There's nothing wrong with this shirt.
Stanley, your shirt's so sad. Take it off. Just your thing.
No, don't take it off.
Okay. Go ahead, Andrew. I'll hit you up next.
Okay, good. You should. And everybody else who is interested, I am on social media at Cricket Snail. You can find me on all platforms. Like I said, for Stanley, as well as everybody else, I am a wardrobe stylist, helping with professional wear, holiday shoots, family shoots, all of that type of stuff as well. Let's see what else. In addition, Kalanda has mentioned we are mothers, wives, still walking in our purpose, and also
they always want to get deep after they done
really
shade and stuff.
Really.
Oh,
no slogans.
Finish. Sick of you.
Tim, you on my side.
You on my style shirt, this middle school shirt you got on. Let us finish.
Put in all the comments talking about no slow.
No, we need to mute him.
Jerome.
I like my
Look at this
list.
guy.
Go ahead.
Stuffing your face all shirt. Mute him.
Right.
Can't be the host. Sick of this. No, I'm good. No, we good. Mute him. As you were saying, Andrew, go ahead. Cutting you off. The nerve of this guy.
One of the things, because I am a event coordinator from 9 to 5. And so I love strategy planning. I have a
Takeover
Stanley.
spirit.
Really say what?
You're talking.
Because I put up.
Put it back in his mouth. Stanley, shut up.
Okay, I'm a mute. Okay.
Goodbye.
What a host that? Mute him.
Mute
Go ahead.
him. Okay, mute him.
No, we good. We good.
So I do have a quick book for moms who are struggling with trying to figure out how to balance motherhood, how to balance working their 9 to 5, all of those types of things. And I think it's extremely beneficial. I've had a lot of people who are benefiting off of it because it's hard. It's hard to walk in your purpose and still be a wife, a mom, and, work a 9 to 5. So, yeah. Stanley, who was you talking to? He act like he got somebody at his house that like him.
No, he good.
What's that little social media thing where it be like talking to somebody like, ain't nobody over there, it's just my hair. That's what he doing.
You making a TikTok.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Ain't nobody over there.
Ain't nobody over there.
I'm saved. Ain't nobody over my house but me. Me and Jesus.
Jesus ain't there.
He's definitely there. He dwells here.
Jesus said, "No, I'm good."
We ain't gonna do that tonight.
Let me get you. Let me help you out.
Please
Stanley.
get us out of this.
Thank y'all so much for joining us.
I'm gonna call you. You ain't gonna run from me. I'm gonna call you after the show.
Okay.
Don't forget to tune in on the next time that we're on live. Thank y'all so much for joining us, Cricket and Tim. I really appreciate it. And until next time, this is the Real Room.
If the contract succeeds, yes. The next